Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another behind the scenes Hobby Night live stream. Hope you guys are excited for this. We are going to continue working on my Khorne Juggernaut today. We've got some great Warhammer themed music in the background for us. Do let me know if the levels are all right for you guys. Make sure that I sound good, the music isn't too loud, everything like that. Hello, Graham and Gabe Juice in chat already. Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are doing well. So, as you guys can see, I just want to go over what I've done so far since the last time you guys got a little sneak peek into this project. I have painted the entire thing in red, as you can tell. And the grisaille worked exactly how I hoped it would. We have some really lovely natural highlights. Now we are going to be painting over a lot of this trim section and the undercarriage here today using some metallics. I figured I know I debated it last time in the live stream, but I decided that going with just a true metallic was going to be best. It's Khorne. I feel like that's appropriate. So that's what we're going to be working on today. But I want to show you guys a little bit of what I've done. So you can see on the Bloodletter himself, I've done a little bit of light dry brushing to bring out some additional highlights after I did the red. And I'll probably go into more detail on that in the video tutorial, but you know, I wanted to show you guys first. Hype! Yes, thank you everybody for the hype in chat. Also, hello to Steve Brads, Tempest Lord Rayhan, Nikki Bogger, I think I pronounced that correctly, and Alchemical Rabbit, of course. Thank you for hanging out with me today, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. I think what I'm going to do first is the annoying parts, which are the undercarriage and like his metal chassis, I guess, and we're going to paint all of that using lead belchers. So that is what we're going to get started with today. I'm going to get it all shook up. Some nice ASMR of the paint shake for you. Some nice bowls in there. Ooh. Nikki, you're working on some 3D Ewoks. That sounds awesome. Are you using these in like something like Star Wars Legion, or are you using these in a diorama? Like, how are you planning on using your 3D Ewoks? And also, anybody else that might be working on a project, do feel free to let me know. Gotta paint that undercarriage, exactly. So I'm thinking, I've been looking at some reference. And I think we're just gonna do like the more mechanically bits and leave the other portions of the armor red. But I do want to bring out some of like the rivets and everything on some of these just to give a little bit more variety. So we're gonna be a little bit delicate with this. And I think what we're gonna start with, do I want to do... No, I'm gonna have this part be silver, so you guys can see fine, I think. And I went ahead and just base coat everything in red, because really the undercoat doesn't matter for this. And if there's a slight tint of red to my Khorne Berserker, I really don't think, or not Berserker, Juggernaut, I don't really think anybody's gonna specifically mind. My one regret is when I originally built this boy, I glued him down to his base. I'm pretty sure I could probably pop him off to make this a little bit easier, but I don't know. Trying to avoid it if I can. Might have to switch to a slightly smaller brush, though. Now, my plan after doing all this metallic work is going to be to wash it using the silver will be done in Nuln Oil. And then after that, I'm going to do some, what is the word I'm looking for? Weathering powders. That's it. To really bring in like soot and ash to really make him feel fiery and like he's just made of fire and blood. Because that's sort of the objective here with my Khorne demon. And again, I'm not going to worry too much if we get a little bit of that tint of red through our paint. So if I go relatively thin with this silver, it's going to be totally fine. Also, I see that we've got a couple of other people popping into chat. Hello, Rabbit Burner. Welcome, David. No problem. You're not late at all, my friend. We just got started on painting our Khorne Juggernaut. So no worries, no worries.
It's a blood letter.
It's a blood letter on Juggernaut, isn't it? I think I looked it up. If I Google search Khorne Juggernaut, this model comes up. So, I don't know. That's what I think it's called. But I know the guy is a bloodletter. Don't stick my paint on him, though. Did you guys see that? I gestured with my paintbrush, and I almost tapped him. And then I would have been very mad at myself. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some areas of this model that are going to be very delicate to paint. In fact, like his ankle here. It's a very small section. Let me make sure to clean this brush completely of that metallic paint. Do not want it drying in there. Don't want opaque paints or normal acrylic paints drying in your bristles. They will absolutely destroy them. Contrast paints, on the other hand, I found that you can kind of wash back out, and if you're using like a good brush repair soap, you can actually restore the brush even if you accidentally left a little bit of contrast paint in them. Not saying to do that intentionally, but when you find that you've left a paintbrush accidentally uncleaned on your desk for 2 days and go, oh crap, you can do that to fix it. Ooh, you finally got a hold of Angron. That's awesome. I have not picked him up yet, but he does look like a very fun model to paint. Oh, that's right. You were actually showing me. No, somebody else was showing me. Somebody else was showing me Angron recently that they were working on. I don't know if it was you, though. I don't think it was. Alright, we're just being a little bit delicate here to make sure that we don't get silver paint on any of the red where we don't want it. Also to make sure we get these like awkward angles underneath. Which I know you guys probably can't see super well. I do apologize about that, but give me just a minute. Let me take care of this, and then we'll get back to an angle where you can see. There. Do I want to do... I think I'm going to do these rivets in silver. Yeah, that looks cool. And I think with a Nuln Oil wash over top of this, it's going to look extra neat, too. I'm going to do this rivet in silver, too. Basically, all of those little rivets I'm going to do. Or I guess they're just screws. I don't really know. That's right, David. I thought it might have been you. It's like, I know somebody in chat who I saw his name go by was showing it to me. And David, it looks really cool, by the way. Really, really cool. Ooh, Graham, you're building a Fujimi Lamborghini. I don't know how to pronounce that last word. So it's a type of Lamborghini. That's really cool. 124 scale. So that's one of the smaller ones, right? Like this big, or like is it beyond? It's hard to do scale. I'm bad at scale, but that sounds cool. And I've never built a car before. I've built some models, but not cars. What would I want to build if I was going to do a car? I have no idea. I'm not really a super, like, car person in any regard, so I'm not good at, like, naming them. So I don't even know, like, where I'd want to... Like, the Lamborghini, I guess, would be cool, because it's just kind of a fancy car. I can do this chain in silver. Yeah. I actually am really glad that I have this red on here, because the tint of it is working really well to my advantage, I think. With at least the color scheme that I'm wanting to do for this boy. I almost feel like I'm just like... I don't know if any of you guys in here in chat or who are lurking have ever worked with those brush-on foils that you use when you are doing... Well, I used it when I was doing picture framing. But you use it when you're doing like embossing and like it's the gold foil. But they also have these ones that are these rub-on metallic like varnishes almost. And that's what I feel like I'm kind of doing here as I'm painting this guy. I almost feel like I'm just like gently rubbing metallic on rather than painting metallic on, which is kind of fun. Do you think I should do his teeth in silver? Like, I kind of almost want there to be very little actual flesh on the Juggernaut itself. I kind of want all of the fleshy, demony bits, like, to be on the blood letter. So I'm almost thinking, like, I'm going to do his teeth in silver. Yeah, I'm going to. Oh, 7.5 in length. Okay, thank you. That actually gives me a much better idea of like what size we're looking at. So thank you for that, Nikki. Ooh, a liquid chrome pen, not gray. That sounds fun to work with. Are you using it on miniatures, or are you going to be using it on like are you using it on like smaller scale miniatures, or are you using it on larger scale miniatures like terrain? Because did you say what size it was? Like I'm curious about the tip size. Like how detailed can you get with it, or is it a little bit of a fatter tip? Oh, Mad Maxing some cars together would be very cool. Isn't that like what you can do? Like like almost encouraged by what's that? What there is a skirmish game that I'm blanking on the name of right now, but it is all about car like combat, like Mad Max style. Gaslands, that's what it is. Gaslands, yes. And I'm pretty sure that's like what you're encouraged to do in Gaslands is like scrap build cars, which is always really cool. For a while, that was actually pretty big at my friendly local game store, the Gaslands game. Hello, John! Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a lovely day so far. I am back at it, working on my Khorne Juggernaut with Bloodletter on back. Boop, 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 boop. Got some very dramatic music happening. I love it. And I decided to go with True Metallics on this boy, which is why we're working with some Blood Belcher right now on all of his, like, fleshy bits, because they're kind of just coated in metal. Hello, Michael, and hello, Mumba Games. Welcome to the stream, you guys. Happy to have you back. How are you all doing today? Hopefully very, very well. Okay, what do I want to do? What is... Alright. Those are... I see. Okay, so he's got these kind of like pistons here, so we're going to paint these in silver. Do I want to paint that portion? Also, get out of here, little fiber. Get... Let me look at some reference real quick. No one shows them from the other angle. It's all from one side. I'm looking up reference for like what other people do on these because there's so much happening on this Juggernaut that I'm like, okay, I need some guidance on like maybe where some colors could go. And everybody takes the Juggernaut photo from like the same angle, and so it's really hard to tell what they're doing on like the backside. Annoyingly so, but you know what? It's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. I'll just make my own choices. Just very careful around his foot. Okay, I think we're all right. I will get back to your guys' comments in just a second. I'm just really focused on what I'm working on right now, so... And I don't want to mess myself up too much. Oh, that's looking great. That is looking fantastic. Okay, I'm very pleased with that. Let me go ahead and get this section. And I'll touch base with you guys. This guy's gonna look so cool when I start putting the gold on. Like, the silver's already making him start to come together, but I think the gold is really... Like, all the gold trim that I want to do is really where he's going to start to shine. I think I'm going to... So, I think I'm going to paint this in silver. Yeah. Because the other pieces seem more like armored pieces, and this kind of feels like his flesh beneath it. A nice little glaze of silver. Looking lovely. Alright, let's check on... I don't know, Michael. Honestly, I've just kind of picked him out because I was really feeling like painting something chaotic, and I wanted something that was not specifically, like, human. And I also wanted something that was a little bit larger, and so the Bloodletter presented a great opportunity for that. But in regards to, like, a Chaos Army, I think this dude would end up being part of just a straight Khorne demon army if I were to, like, really focus and build one. But I do like the idea of running, like, a World Eaters list with some Berserkers running around with them. That could be fun. So I don't know. But an excellent question, sir. Ooh, you're gonna be building Graham, you're gonna be scratch building a British aircraft carrier? Whoa, that's gonna be 7 feet long? Holy shit, man, that's awesome. I was watching a video, literally before, I went on stream, and I do not remember who it was specifically, but it was somebody in Australia. They were at a Lego convention, and they were showing a 2-scale, minifig scale, Star Destroyer? Light Cruiser, sorry, the Light Cruiser. And it was freaking insane. Like, it looked so good. The greebling was just beautiful. And oh my gosh, it was just so cool. I cannot fathom building something that large. Like, and doing even something like 7 feet, like scratch building especially, like, I just can't picture it in my head. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, dioramas are something I want to do, though, in the future. Like, I know it's not quite the same, because you're just working on the single miniature, but, like, I think the largest thing I'd really be able to, like, do would be, like, maybe trying a diorama. I think that'd be the first, like, really big thing I'd want to try. Outside of maybe painting, like, Cthulhu. Because I have the big, Cool Mini or Not one. The giant one from, the Kickstarter. Which I think you can actually get now outside of that. Like, I'm pretty sure it's available. And not just on eBay. Separately, but I know originally when it came out, it was a Kickstarter exclusive thing. Which is silly because it's like the end of the game. Should I make... I'm gonna make the tip of his tail also in silver because it looks like the armor ends. Or is it... Oh, okay. I'm gonna do the underside. Yeah. Because there's a little seam. Which I think is not a mold line that I missed. I think it's actually part of the design. You know what? Martial arts? That's totally fair. One Page Rules has some absolutely stunning models. And honestly, from what I've heard of the game, it's very fun. I've not played it myself, but I know several people that do, and it sounds pretty cool. So more power to you, man. Nothing wrong with one-page rules getting you back into chaos. Alright, let's go ahead and take care of his thighs. I like the, like, ribbing that, Games Workshop and a lot of other companies do nowadays to give this muscled but, like, armored look. I assume it's probably, like, a comic book thing, actually, originally. But I really do like how it translates into a miniature. This is gonna look rad. Ooh, you're building a Zaku right now, Michael. That sounds fun. Which Zaku are you building? There's like lots of them, aren't there? Because I know I built one, but I think it's like one of the... Which one did I build, actually? The Zaku 2, I believe it was? So are you actually building like the Zaku, like number 1? Numero uno? Or are you building one of the other ones? One of the variants? Such a good classic design, in my opinion, the Zaku. When it comes to like Gundam models, or mobile suit models. Technically, it's not a Gundam. It's not made of Gundanium. Michael, you have so many projects, my gosh! That's awesome, though. How do you keep track of them all? It's looking good. I like the slight, like, I really enjoying the slight undertone of red. I think that was a good choice. Chaos Cultist just suggested doing everything in red, and I was like, you know what, that's a great idea. And I was right. It was a great idea. He had a great idea. I mean, he often does, let's be fair. Ooh, okay, nice. Charzaku Mach 2. Nice, nice, nice. I mean, to be fair, that is, like, quintessential Zaku. Considering it's, you know, Chars. Beautiful. You know, Redgrass, I agree that the orcs would definitely make for good Mad Max type cars. I think that's what your comment said. I just saw it scroll past. I mean, that's fair, David. I guess that's true. Many people have multiple projects going. I mean, technically, even I have multiple projects going on. But that's, I don't know. Doing, like, it's multiple projects in multiple different hobbies. I mean, I guess I have all the Lego stuff going on. You know what? You're right. You're right. That was silly of me. Callum, welcome. Welcome, 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 sir. Hope you're having a lovely day. What do I need to do? I need to do this side while I let that side dry a little bit and then do some cleanup. So let's work on that next. Oops. Good. Got a little bit of silver in a place I didn't want it to, but I think I cleaned it up well enough, and I don't think it's going to be super noticeable. And honestly, it's on the legs. I'm going to do so much weathering and such down there that it's definitely not going to be a problem. So the nice thing about this is, like, I actually feel like I can be kind of sloppy if I want to, because I'm going to be doing so much with weathering powders later, and also some, like, Blood for the Blood God effects, that I think it'll end up looking really neat. Let's go ahead and do that. And some silver. And the inside of his leg. Don't forget that, Angela. Nice grazing of silver on his belly. technically, I guess, his crotch. We are kind of painting his cod piece there. Ooh, you were thinking about getting tickets to the Wembley, the Wembley show for AEW, and you want to, and Marzel Arts, you've asked my opinion on the show. I assume you're meaning the opinion on the show that's going to be in the UK. I'm excited that it's happening. I don't think we know a whole lot about who specifically is going to be like in it, or on the card yet. At least not that I have seen. But I'm hyped. The fact that they're at that stadium is massive. Like, I'm not a soccer/football like player, or not player, but like follower. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff. But I do know that like I've heard of that stadium. I know it is one of the big ones. I understand that from like even before, you know, everybody was talking about how big of a stadium it is and how big of a deal it is they're trying to fill it. But I think they're going to be successful. Like, I really think between not only the UK like areas who are going to want to come in, like the people there who are going to want to come into the stadium to see it, I think you're going to have so many people from just Europe, let alone people who are going to fly over from America to go to this show. So I think they're going to definitely be able to fill the stadium handily. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I think it's going to be a brilliant show. My only real concern is the fact that like a week later, there is another pay-per-view. I think it's because this is All In, so I think All Out is like a week later. Yes. So my only actual concern is that I don't want either one. I don't want All In to feel like it is a house show for All Out. That is my only actual concern. So if they can just do a really good job with the card and not making it feel like it's just a house show leading into a separate pay-per-view, then I'll be super pleased, honestly. Hello, Mr. J. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. See, exactly. You made a very good point. You're in Germany. You already know 25 people that have booked flights for the show and hotels. I completely believe that, and I have zero doubt that there is plenty of people in Europe, Germany, Spain, France, all of these places who are all going to, you know, hop over to the UK to go to Wembley Stadium and to like see this amazing show, because it'll be their first time not in North America, right? Like, this will be their first, I think, travel outside of that. So I'm hyped. I think it's going to be a great show. Mr. J, I am doing exceptionally well. Thank you so much for asking. I hope that you are as well, sir. All right, this is coming along really nicely. Got some sort of hard to reach areas to work on next, so if you guys don't have a good view, I do apologize, but you'll just have to suck it up because I need to do this. Like over here, well, you'll probably be able to see this one fine, actually. Some very ghostly music right now. I like it. It's very ethereal. Should I go? I completely missed that section of red. I'll fix that in a second. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, they've also gone to Canada, right? I'm pretty sure they went to Canada as well. Sorry, my lips got suddenly very dry. Much better. I need some more paint. That's what I need. I know it looks like there's paint on there, but it's actually a little more watery than I want it to be. There we go. That's better. Okay, this is the side I was working on. really just, like, when it comes to wrestling... Ooh. Oh, I'm sure there are certain areas of, like, certain cities and stuff that wrestling will show up to and immediately sell out. I'm sure Chicago's like that, too. Not as much around here, I don't feel like. I feel like we've not really missed out on anything significant. Ooh, hold on. I need to switch to a smaller brush for this section. Go with this. I do not want to get paint on his foot. Hold on 1 second while I concentrate, guys. Okay, I think I got it. Alright, I do want to do... I think these rivets in silver. I don't know, they just felt like they needed something. Sure to do the same thing on this side. Missed a small little tiny section there. There we go. And I think nope, that rivet there. Okay, can I just talk about something real quick? So you see how on the back of this guy's foot, it just, like, it kind of ends, and you're not really sure if this is meant to be the, like, if this is the armor wrapping around, or if it's actually, like, the back of his heel being exposed. And I, as a painter, when I get to that step, I know it's a small thing, I know it's mostly completely unnoticeable, but, like, I hate when, like, the artist just half-ass a section like that and go, it's the foot. No one's gonna care. I care. I want to know if this is actually supposed to continue down in silver because it's the back of his heel, or if it's part of his armor. I think I'm gonna leave it as part of his armor because that makes a little bit more logical sense to me, but like they don't define it well and it irritates me. Let's see. Hello, Michael. Bachnan, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've also got, okay, no one else, I don't think, I'm not seeing any other new names in chat. Okay, good. I thought I maybe had missed other people, so sorry about missing you, Michael. Hello and welcome to the stream, sir. The details are starting to pop, Mumba, I think so as well. Oh yeah, my glowy murder blade. It is a nice glowy murder blade. Although, I bet your Angron's glowy murder blade is much more impressive from what I remember seeing, David. So, good on you for that. Ooh, a Mandalorian? No, wait. Oh, no, I think you meant to say Mandalorian. I think you might have just accidentally had a typo. No worries, no worries. All right, John, thank you. I thank you for agreeing with me about that problem. Because, holy cow, I get it. I get it. There's some things where you're just like, you gotta move on and get past a detail or something. But like, there are some things where I'm just like, come on, guys. I feel like you could have done this a little bit better. Oh man, I really wish I could pop him off. Oh, I can get to it from here. Okay, never mind. We're fine. I can still do this. Let's paint his butt. Well, paint more of his butt, rather. Nope. Well, you know what? That doesn't actually matter because that's going to get golded. So, whatevs. Do I want this front thing? You know what? I'm going to make this... Do I want to make it... I'm going to make it silver. Yeah, that looks better. I like that more. He's going to have so much red on him already that I don't really think I need to worry about leaving, like, you know, not going more with this silver color tone. Okay, that is looking good. Let's get this side here. That is also looking much better now. Oh, I completely missed the panel on this side, or the rivet, so let's take care of that. It's coming to like a really awkward end there. Hello, Patrick. Well, thank you for being here for your first time. I hope you are enjoying yourself, sir. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask. Nice. Well, I hope that this is the future of your Tuesday nights. I figured Tuesday's kind of a slow day for some people, so this was a good time to get some streaming in, and then it also worked really well for me for my Friday videos because I tend to be painting on this day anyways, so you can just turn it into some nice behind-the-scenes content. Get to hang out with you guys, chat about your projects, and get to see a little bit of the work that I'm doing on the tutorial for Friday, which so far I am really, really liking the way this guy is turning out. So I think I'm almost done with the silver. Now I'm debating... I'll ask your guys' opinion, actually. For his collar that he has on, I actually think silver might be the better choice, but I'd like to know your guys' choice. Do you think I should paint the collar in the Lead Belcher's color, or do you think I should wait and save it for Retributor's armor, which is what I'm going to put on all of the gold trim on his bigger panels of armor? I'm leaning towards the silver, but I'd love your guys' opinion. And I'll give you guys a little bit of time to answer that, because I know there's a delay on the stream a little bit. So I'm going to keep doing a little bit more work on some of the silver stuff, like on his chest. So we do have a little bit on his legs that needs to get done there. And then his chest actually does have a tiny bit of exposed, like, pectoral muscle. Yeah. Well, the brass is going to end up being the gold. Do you think you're... So, David, you're saying the gold. Ooh, Michael, I do like the idea of putting some black contrast paint over top. I was going to Nuln Oil wash everything in silver pretty heavily anyways, so that'll still do a nice job with that. But I do like the idea of making it more distinctly black. So that might be... I might be doing that. Okay, but a lot of people are seeming to say a little bit more of the silver color tone over the gold, it looks like. I'll give you guys a few more minutes to get your votes in on if you want to, about whether or not you think I should do it silver or gold. But I do feel like people are leaning a little bit more towards the silver route as well. If I end up doing it silver too, then I'll have to be way less delicate about painting his chest. So I can just go and get it on there. Let's go ahead and do that with his neck. Basically, anywhere that I have ended up seeing that sort of, this style of texture, like, can you guys see that super well? It's that sort of layered, flat armored look, where it looks like muscles a little bit. That's basically what I'm painting in silver, and then any of these larger mechanical bits in, like, the knees and legs. Which seems to be mostly just, like I said, what I think they've replaced his flesh with. Poor guy. He's probably in a lot of pain. Or maybe he doesn't feel anything because he's made of metal. I'm gonna go with that route. He just doesn't feel any of it. Maybe that's why he's so angry. Look at me justifying the Khorne demons. He's just hurting. That's why he's so mad. Hello, BB. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I think everybody seems to be going with the silver tone for the most part, so I do think that is what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and get it painted silver. There we go. Let's make sure to get on the inside and also get the rest of his neck muscles, because I was kind of being delicate around those because I didn't want to get too much silver on the collar if we decided not to go with that, but the people have spoken. And like I said, I think I kind of agree with the choice. I might have put it out there as well. For a reason. Alright, this is looking really nice though. Go ahead and make the little ring in silver as well, and then get the rest of the collar. Being a little bit delicate around the top of the neck because he actually has some nice armor panels that I want to keep red, that like butt up right against it on the top section, but you see more of his exposed underbelly on the bottom, as they like to do with these types of models. You know, it makes a whole lot of sense that they're doing it that way. I'm on screen still, yes? Okay, good. Damn, do I love me the, Mechanicus soundtrack. Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh, yes. It's just like, I don't know, I find it weirdly relaxing. I don't know about you guys. BB, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on finishing painting a miniature. That is always something to be celebrated. What miniature did you finish painting? Was it a Warhammer 40k miniature? Were you working on something else from Games Workshop? Was it a non-GW model? I would love to hear about it. Hello, Simon. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are hope you are doing well, rather. Having a good evening and everything. Because it's like, for those of you that are in the UK right now, it is roughly 6 or 7. Like, it's almost, I guess it would almost be either 7 or 8, but you guys are at like 6:43-ish? Or is it 7:43-ish for you? I always forget what difference we're at now that we've had the daylight savings. You sculpted a trash can for your urban Battletech mech to wear as a hat? That's amazing. Like, from scratch? Like, did you use, like, clay to do it? Or was it, like, green stuff? I guess. Would you consider green stuff a clay? I don't know if I would. Because it's like a epoxy, right? An epoxy wouldn't technically be a clay. Oh my god, it's way later. It's 9:45? Holy shit, okay. You know, I guess that makes sense. We are 12 hour... No, not 12 hours. How many hours are... It doesn't matter. I'll do math later. I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself with not being able to do math really quick. Instead of continuing to babble and make myself look silly. Alright, well, much later than I anticipated, but thank you guys for being here then. Even more awesome that you guys are all showing up. I'm, like, dead at 9:45 at night, so that's why I'm impressed. I'm like, that is so late for me. I would be ready to be going to bedtime and falling asleep. Because apparently I'm an old lady. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm actually 102. Is this still Mechanicus? No, this is just The Machine God by Michael McCann. McCann. I think it's just McCann. It's got 2 C's, though. It feels a little... It sounds a little doomy, doesn't it? Alright, that's looking... Oh my god, I did a terrible job on the side of the collar. Holy moly. Do you guys ever, like, work on something you're painting? You're like, ah, yes, I'm feeling confident about where this is looking. And then you actually, like, shift an angle and you realize, holy cow, I didn't paint that entire blob. And then you're, like, sad about it. That's what just happened about that collar. Okay, that is looking good. Let's get under there. Again, don't need to be careful because the collar is silver and it don't matter. Okay, that is looking slick. I think I forgot this side of his pec. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. Again, blatant areas of the collar that I've missed. Maybe I just didn't get to this side. Maybe that's what happened. We'll go with that. Oh, yeah, I can imagine that New Zealand and Australia, too, also has, like, really far ahead of everybody else, right? I always feel bad, for the time difference, though, actually for both of you guys, because, like, UK and New Zealand and Aussie, like, both have really sometimes awful times to have to be able to watch pro wrestling specifically because of when they put their shows for, like, the American audiences. And I always feel bad for Wrestle Talk when they're having to be up super, super, super early in the morning or super, super late into the night because they're, you know, covering a pay-per-view or something, and it's just, like, intense for them because it's just, it goes forever. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that. Okay. I am going to now switch over to my smaller... Well, actually, no. I'm going to stick to this one for a second. There's a little bit of, like, the back of his head that I want to do in the silver. And then we're going to do in the little gaps in between his armor on his head. Because I think that'll make his eyes glow better. If I do, like, a dark silver, like, basically silver it up, put a heavy Nuln Oil wash on it, make it feel a little darker, and then, I think the eyes will glow really nicely. There we go. Clean up on the side of the neck, where I was sloppy. There, that looks better. can I get... I think I can get this side with this brush, so let's do that. Again, I'm kind of just like almost glazing this on. If it doesn't go fully into this edges, I'm not going to worry too much because, again, that wash is going to do a lot of work for me. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my smaller brush. Not really worried so much about getting it on the eye either. It's more the armor around the eye. There we go. Just a nice shine of silver in there. I think that's looking really cool. Hopefully you guys can see it well. I'm hoping that the metallic shimmeriness is helping you guys see some of this a little bit more. Graham, you were asked, so you said to the UK boys, you were wondering if pint cans can be used in oil paint in a diorama. Would it look okay? Like for the scale, you mean? Like, are the cans, like the pint cans scaled properly to be an oil plant for a diorama? I think I mean, I'm not in the UK, but I think I know the scale of that, and I feel like yes. Right? I believe that, Simon. I mean, you have to stay up super, super late to watch anything from, sometimes for WWE and well, you said WWF, but I assume, are you watching, like, on the network? Because the UK has the actual WWE network still? Curse you all and your luckiness. I have Peacock and it sucks. Search function is absolutely terrible. Okay, I am feeling really good about where the silver is. I'm not seeing any obvious places where I need it additionally, except for on this side of the face that I didn't finish painting, because I skipped the other... I needed to switch brushes. But outside of that, I think we're going to be done with the silver and move on to the golds. And then maybe we'll pull some more silver back out after we're done based off of where all the gold ends up being. There we go. A little bit of silver there, and then this is the slightly more delicate part around the eye. Okay. Oh, I'm also going to, you know, immediately upon thinking about it, I want the nose ring to be silver. But the additional ring / skull, because I just looked at it closely, that is on the end, that will be done in that gold brassy color. That is classic to Khorne. All right. Hell yeah. Okay, that's looking cool. Let's move on to the gold. Close up my lead belchers. Shake up my gold paint. Hello, Christina Wagner. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Blood for the blood god, indeed. Yes, no, I think the miniature is actually coming along quite well. Very, very excited. Might do this in silver down the line, but I haven't decided fully yet. The hilt is definitely going to be, like, the Khorne symbol and everything is going to be in this gold color tone. Okay, I think it's shook up enough. I really want to make sure it is before we begin, though. Ah, it's a beer can. I see. That makes... I mean, the pint kind of gave me that impression. That's what I was thinking, but I love seeing you guys actually discuss your projects in the chat. Like, I have to tell you how. Let's begin. I'm gonna start with the sword. Take a little bit more paint off my brush. There we go. Yeah, this is gonna look amazing. Already, it's looking super cool. It's the right gold color tone, I think. Like, because I thought about using, sorry, hold on. Okay. I thought about using a actual brassier tone. I think it's like Balthazar's gold for it, which I know is often used in Khorne, like on Khorne models, but it's just, I really felt like this brighter gold would look really nice next to the red tones I've gotten, and I think I was correct. So many options to be able to make your diorama now. Love the discussion, you guys. That's great. Rio Ganzi, South Africa. You're stopping in from South Africa. That is awesome. Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great time. You're clearing the mold lines off of your fourth and final bite for a 700 point portion of a slowly growing event. That's awesome, dude. That's great. Cleaning up mold lines can take so much time sometimes. I will admit I get lazy about it. I'm not always, like, the cleanest when it comes to mold lines. But I do try. I do try to get, like, be careful on things that I know should be especially smooth. Like, anytime there's mold lines on, like, a lightsaber on a Legion miniature, which there aren't often, but sometimes there are, it's like, ugh. Or swords from 40k. Like, I see that all the time. God, that is looking really cool. All right, we need to keep working. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Well, I mean, you can get distracted, but not that much. There we go. Let's get the edges. Because this is a three-dimensional object, in fact, and we want to make sure we get all of the edges that we should be with the correct color of paint. I almost dropped the model. I was about to be horrified because I almost put my brush on it. And it probably would not have gone to the correct place, and I would have been very sad. Thankfully, I have yet to have, like, a disaster like that when painting a tutorial. Thankfully. Good lord. Although I'd be able to make it into content, I suppose, if I messed up a miniature that bad. There we go. It's looking good. Just being delicate around these little crown points on the hilt of the weapon. Beautiful. All right, let's get this bottom section down here. I like when there's flat sections that are raised up above everything else, because then you can, it just makes it so easy to paint. Makes it so simple to paint, you know? Hello, the Sarah Games! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Oh. My apologies. We have an ad on our music. Let me just find my mouse. There we go. And skip. Screw you. We don't need your ads. Hope you got a little bit of revenue from that, though. Because I am doing this on YouTube. So there you go. All right, let's... Where was I working? I was on the sword. I was on the bottom of the sword. Oh my god, I just got gold paint all over my desk. It's fine. This thing is covered in paint. It'll be fine. I keep flipping this in weird ways. But then I remember I need to do this bottom side. Rub, 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 rub. Remember how earlier I was talking about how it felt like I was just sort of using those rubbing metallic like mediums to put this color down? I feel like that even more now that I'm working with the gold. Like, it was definitely there with the silver, but with the gold, I am getting that, I still can't actually remember the term for that, using that stuff when you're actually using it on, like, picture framing and adding it to your fine art. Like, it's gold foil, but I feel like there's a technical term for it, and it's driving me nuts that I can't think of it. Thank you, TM Heron. These are the classic color choices for a Khorne demon. They are often red and gold, so it's nothing that I have specifically done to wildly do something cool. I'm just following sort of a little bit of a guide here. But I am applying it, I think, well, I mean, I think it's ways that plenty of people have probably done, but I think it's working really, really well. And we're working on the trim right now. This is a demon model for the blood god, if you're familiar with him as you're learning Warhammer 40k. And he's quite brutal, and I'm enjoying painting him. Let's go ahead and actually start working on some of the... Oh my god, flipping him. Okay. Calm thyself, Angela. All right, I'm just really excited to work on this armor. Let's go ahead and get started. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, it's gonna look immediately so cool. And I don't even mind if there's a little bit of, again, the red peeking through underneath, because I want it to look scratched and worn and like he's just been through so much battle. I mean, it's a Khorne demon. So all he does is battle. So good. Do need a little bit more moisture, I think, on my brush to help the paint flow. It is a little bit sticking more than I want it to. Simon Moss, I don't think it's a silly question at all. The question is, do you have Games Workshop stores in the US? Yes, but much fewer and far, are like harder to find, especially depending on what area of the US you are in, than probably you do in Europe or the UK especially. Like, we do not have nearly the number that the UK does, but we do have some. Like, there is one, like a very small one that I sometimes go to that is not too far from me. Like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so. So not far at all. But we also have a plethora of just other hobby stores as well. Usually board game stores or card game shops that will often also have Games Workshop and other wargaming games, because that honestly ends up being a huge life source, like lifeblood area, money source for those stores. Those players, in my experiences, I'm speaking from personal experience, having worked and been the buyer for a relatively large local game store in my area. Our Warhammer community was definitely our most consistent and reliable group to come in and play games in store. Even during the pandemic, they were the first group to come back, and they were the first group to set up organized play outside of the store, back when we weren't actually open and having a space, but they like still met up and like gamed as like the store's group outside of the store during that time. So it was really cool to see, and I love wargaming communities specifically for that reason at game stores or like board game cafes and stuff, because I really do feel like they are a vital aspect of that environment, and I think they bring a lot to the community. I know that went into way more detail than you probably asked, but you got me on a rant, so I apologize for that. Gold leaf, thank you. BB, thank you. I was, for some reason, forgetting the word leaf. Yeah, I feel like I'm gold leafing whenever I'm doing this, because they have that rub-on gold leaf. You know, I just realized, so in my past, I have often talked about not actually enjoying true metallics as much when it comes to painting, and I just realized, staring at this for just a moment, why it bothers me. I don't normally, so I don't know how many of you guys have had this experience before, but sometimes when you're staring at something small for a long period of time, you can lose focus, your eyes like, you know, have a really hard time actually looking at that and seeing what you are actually working on. So it makes painting sometimes very difficult. And it occurred to me that the thing that actually bothers me is metallic paint is so shiny that and reflective that it causes my eyes to do that more than any other paint ever when I am painting with it. Because I was painting this and I stopped being able to see the edges, and I was really worried that I'd gone over into the armor for a second. Thankfully, I did not. But I was like sitting there going, did I just mess up? I'm going to try not to panic and show it on screen, but that is literally what just happened. And it's because I lost focus and I couldn't see what the hell I was like, where my edges were anymore because of the reflection. It was a little bit weird. And mildly uncomfortable, actually. Oh my god, but this is looking really, really nice now. It's coming together so well. I just gotta take my time and like look away from it for a little bit. Inhale, exhale. So many ads suddenly. Get out of here. Simon, I would love to visit the UK again. So I've been once to England. It was as part of my partner's work trip back when he was still doing game design work professionally, and it was really fun. I actually did we? I don't think we went to a Games Workshop store while we were there, actually. We went to a game store. Like, we found, actually, near us, he had a really busy schedule, unfortunately, so we didn't get to do that many touristy things together. But one of the few things that we did do is we found a board game shop near where our hotel was, and we went to that. We also were staying near the Tower of London, so we went to that, and I got to see the crows, or the ravens, rather, and I thought they were really cool, and all the armor, and I love castles, so it was really cool to see all of the, like, stone and everything. Like, I loved it. And then I also went to the British Museum, because you have all of that beautiful Egyptian stuff in there, and I wanted to look at it, because I love that shit. So it was really cool to see that, but I don't actually think we went to a Games Workshop store while we were there, which is really funny. We weren't anywhere near Warhammer World though, so we specifically, like, we did not have time to go to that, but it's on my short list of things to do when we're there. Yeah, I personally, like, I go to the independent stores more than I go to the Games Workshop stores when I'm looking for GW products. Like, I'll go to GW if the other stores do not have the product, but I'm not gonna lie, the Games Workshop store near me, like, half the time is closed when I want to go to it, very randomly, and I think it's run by, like, one person, so it's just horrifically understaffed, and yeah, it doesn't feel super reliable. But I suspect in, like, the UK, and honestly, like, so I've been to one Games Workshop store outside of the US, and that was in France, in Paris specifically, and it was densely populated. It had like 3 tables, but they were very like it was the most dense space I had seen. But it was really, really cool. The people that were playing there were great. There was a lot more fantasy, because this was back when I went, Age of Sigmar was not a thing yet. And so fantasy was still being played. Wow, that was a long time ago. Wow. That I don't know why that statement put that into perspective for me of how long ago that was, but amazing. Okay, sorry. And it was really cool, but there was a lot of fantasy being played, and that's the only, like, foreign GW store that I've gone to. Andy, you were working on basing some of your Tengu for Bushido Risen Sun. That is awesome. I have a few, I think I have a few Bushido models. I think I got the starter set. Was that the game that I did it for, or was it... No, I think it was the Wild West one. What was that game called? I don't remember off the top of my head. I have this, like, I have a starter set and, like, a couple packs that I got at a Gen Con once for, like, this really cool looking Wild West miniatures game. And I can't remember now anything about it outside of it being Wild West themed. All right, let's work on this guy some more. Sarah, I hope your what color are you doing your Necrons in? Are you doing the classic look? I think we've talked about this before, but I can't remember specifically because it's been a while since we've chatted about it. But I'm glad they're coming together well. Like, I hope you're having fun with them. Got a little bit of gold on his armor where I didn't want it, and seeing if I could get it up with some water, and thankfully I did. Beautiful. Oh, now it's all wet though. Hold on. Okay, my brush is now too damp. No, Graham, I do not believe I was ever interviewed by Black Rifle Models. I have not done that many interviews actually in my YouTube career. And most of the ones that I have done were either with were actually with board game channels. Meeple University had an interview with me once. They were great. They're actually out of Australia. If I remember correctly. Wild West Exodus. Yes, that is the one, Andy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is the game that I was thinking of. But in regards to that, outside of that, I actually think the only other interviews I've had have been Wrestle Talk. And those weren't really interviews. They were more of a, like, what's your favorite fast food restaurant before getting into Quizlemania? And then me doing decently. I actually did pretty decently in answering pro wrestling questions. And I think that's really the only, like, the only other interviews that I have done are ones that were either for, like, Patreon specifically, like somebody else's Patreon, or I think for, like, a paper, actually. I was interviewed for a paper once, which was kind of cool. Like a college paper about what I do, YouTube. That. Okay, I wasn't sure if we had discussed your Necrons specifically. I remember, like, somebody had mentioned Necrons previously, and I wasn't sure if it was you. So you're doing the classic silver look? Sweet. I do love the silver tide. That is always an awesome looking color scheme. I had some paint on my red, and I was very concerned. It was just a fiber, though. All right, let's get this. I mean, be a little bit heads down for a second again, guys, as guys and gals rather, as I continue to work on this trim and I focus on this part because I don't want it to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to get any gold where I don't want it on this very visible front side of this model. Oh my god, so many. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why we're suddenly getting 1,200 ads. I might also take a very short break here soon. We are into the second hour, and I think I need to stretch my legs a little bit. I'm getting a little bit cramped. But I want to get this section done first. That angry tone is directed at myself for having been very slow about this one little area. I feel like I've been painting it for ages. And that's silly. Do you guys like my panic look up every time I go, am I on screen? Whoops. There we go. Got a pretty good flow on this now. Sometimes the paint just doesn't want to spread because I end up having it a little too dry. But it does give this like really kind of nice rough scratchy look, which I think works really well for Khorne. So I'm actually not super opposed to the effect that happens when it does get a little dry. It's one of the things I like about painting miniatures, because I'm not having to think about the form or like in the same way of when you're creating something from scratch specifically, like, which has its own fun and benefits of doing, but one of the differences that I do enjoy is because all the form is already determined for me, it's really then about me playing with color and texture and how to enhance the form that is presented to me. Whereas like when I think that's one of the things that intimidates me a little bit about doing dioramas, is because I have to think about too much, and I don't visualize things well in 3D. So it becomes really like difficult for me to like picture where things are going to be proportionally to each other when doing scratch building, which is why you haven't seen me do a huge amount of it. So I'm always jealous of the people who can do it really well. Like some of you guys have been describing in chat a little bit of like, man, I just don't know if I'd like scale things correctly and like not get immediately frustrated with like the failure of being like doing it incorrectly and going through that learning process. Like I just feel like I'd get frustrated with it. David, have a great evening. Please definitely get some sleep before your 10-hour shift. That sounds a little bit rough. I do hope that it's not too bad for you. Thank you for coming to the stream and hanging out for me while you could. And feel free to catch back up with it when you're back from work. But do go get some rest. Have a good night, sir. Angrong's tongue is a separate piece, Rabbit Burner. That's really funny. I'm not, I guess, that surprised, but that is really actually kind of funny. That is an entire separate piece. Is it a relatively large piece on the model, too? Like, I guess it probably would be, right? He's a big boy. He'd have a big tongue. Got a very angry open mouth, if I remember correctly, with his model. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, thank goodness. It always really stresses me out when I get gold on a place where I don't want it. Like, I gotta move fast so I can get it up and it doesn't dry. Alright, I did... This is much too large of a brush to be doing this with. Just be delicate, Angela, just be delicate. Where is that spot that I just saw? There it is. Okay, that looks better. I need to do this edge, though. That was why that was kind of looking a little bit weird. And... okay. Oop! And we didn't get this edge. There we go. I think that is much better. You know, being that it's actually complete. The shoulders are looking fantastic. What do you guys think? Looking pretty swell. All right, I am going to take a brief break. We're going to step away. I'm going to look at your... Miss Angron is not complaining. You know what? You're absolutely right. You know, I actually do wish that they could, you know, I know why Games Workshop doesn't introduce those kinds of relationships or like stuff into the game a little bit more or into the lore more, because they just don't want to deal with like, honestly, perviness, I think, from people. But I do wish there was a little bit more of that kind of stuff in the 40K verse. I feel like you don't get it very much outside of like certain books, and it's a little bit of a shame. Oh, totally dry fit pieces when you're building anything, whether it's a model or you're scratch fitting. 100%, Sarah. Completely agree with you. Okay, you guys, I will be right back. I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break, so I'll be back at 2:23 3. Yes. Or 2:22, something like that. But I won't be too long. I'm just going to go stretch my legs real quick. Be right back. That back on. All right, got the music going again. I am back. Let's continue using some gold paint. Excellent. Went and got myself a drink. Got, stretched my legs a little bit. And now we'll be back to painting. Alright, let's get the trim on the head, I think. I think that's going to continue to help this guy come together. Now, do I want to do the spikes on his head? So I did a little test in the break very briefly. Just slap some gold on the spikes on his leg, and I really like it. But on his forehead, because they are... I'm almost thinking maybe do the spikes in silver and the trim in gold to help it stand out. But I could also be convinced to do it in all just in the gold. But for right now, I'm gonna intend to do it with the silver. I think that may be one of those choices that I make. Oh yeah, that is looking good. Oop, got a little bit. Oh my god. I should install YouTube Red so that I don't get ads. Because I swear it's happening now with like every song change. You want to see like just a spin? There you go. It's looking pretty cool, I think. Pretty nice, don't you think? Oh, also, do, like, let me know in chat if I'm, like, drifting wildly and I don't catch myself on it, because, I have been known to do that, and, it will not be the first nor last time that I will. But yeah, don't ever feel, like, bad about calling out to be like, hey, Angela, you've, completely drifted off camera. Could you maybe correct that? Can't guarantee that I'll respond to it quickly because sometimes I forget to look up at chat and don't see it, but you know what? I will try my darndest. I think it also is looking quite nice. Right, there we go. Let's switch it to this side. And I want to make sure I get the back side. Oh, something I wanted to briefly talk about. Okay, I don't know how easy it's going to be for you guys to see. But this brush has a slight curve where the bristles actually go, like, in and then start to curve their way back out this, like, from this angle. And I have found that if you do have older brushes like this that have started to either fray or the tips are a little bit warped, you can actually sometimes use that to your advantage, because where it curves around, you can use that to curve around your armor trim and make sure that you're getting all of the sides that you need to. Or you can use it to glide along a raised edge, you know, whatever you're painting. I have found that there's ways to work with some of the inherent wear and tear that your brushes are going to just have over time. So something to keep in mind when you're working on things before, like, immediately discarding your brushes potentially, they do have some benefits like that sometimes. And this is one of those instances where I really feel like it's helping me in a weird way. Now you got to be careful and pay attention to, like, that you're watching that curve so that you're using it appropriately, because you can make some really wild mistakes by, you know, going against the angle depending on what you're painting, but it is something to keep in mind. They are but tools, and you must manipulate them as the autist. The autiste! I apologize if spit flew there. I felt like I did. Very lovely, very lovely. Oh, let's not forget the skull on the front. Nice. Very cool. This is looking great. I'm really loving just also how simplistic this was. I mean, I did a grisaille, I then painted everything in red, and then I've now done some trim. Really not a lot of, like, hard thought and effort going into this, but it's turning out brilliantly, and that's what I love about it. Totally agree with you, Rabbit Burner. The bent bristles on your brushes sometimes can be incredibly useful to you. It's just a matter of manipulating them the correct way. Okay, I think that is that side done. Let's go ahead and do the legs here. So we've done the other side, but I didn't paint this one. Get those real fast. Like, I find those bent bristles can sometimes be very helpful on, like, spikes and such to get curves properly. Whoa, I got some silver on that edge. Whoops. Well, thankfully, I don't think it's going to be super noticeable. And I'll hide it with some weathering powders. Some nice, like, soot texture or something. Should be okay. A little bit of trim on the bottom here. Oop. Got too dry again. That's why the bristles started spraying so wildly like that. There we go. This is going to be mildly difficult, I've realized, because of the closeness to the base that this is, but that also means that no one will really be able to see it super well, so I don't have to be super accurate. Nice. There we go. Not bad if I say so myself. Yeah, no, you totally have to use them to your advantage. Otherwise, you'd be brying brushes all of the time. Because, like, I feel like even if you're being really delicate and nice to your brushes, they immediately start to, like, just do weird things with their bristles or start to fray in strange ways or, like, you know, just go against you at every possible turn sometimes. And it's just like, well, I don't want to replace you. You're kind of expensive. Alright, let's continue on the backs of the legs now. I'm hoping I can get all the gold trim done before I call it with you guys. That way I can move on to the next steps in the tutorial afterwards and just continue painting. That's at least the goal. I think I need a bit more gold paint. The stuff that I have on my palette has dried too much. There we go. And, every time I flip him, I'm like, oh, please don't break anything. It's very stressful. Get that little underside of his hilt when I painted it previously. There we go. There is something just really, really nice about working with, like, a very basic color scheme, like a red and gold. Like, because I don't know, you get to play and very focus on what you're doing because you are working with such a limited color palette. And I think being able to manipulate those colors to your will is kind of neat. that is looking pretty good. Let's make sure to wrap the gold around the inside of the thigh too, because the trim does in fact continue that direction. Okay. All right, let's do the backs. Oh, I should probably paint that real quick. Hold on. I need to pull out the red real quick, because I remembered that I had completely missed this section on the foot, and before I actually get the gold onto it, I should probably fill in that area. There we go. Okay, I'll let that little section dry, and we'll move on to a different area while that dries. Not a big deal. Alright, I think that brush is pretty darn clean now. Let's get back to our gold. Because on this back thigh, he's got a nice little Khorne symbol, which we need to paint up. Nice bit of asymmetry there, I actually hadn't realized. I approve of this design, Games Workshop. Good job, good job. I like some asymmetry in my models. I really do find red significantly more forgiving than other colors, and that especially is true when it comes to the contrast reds and also the speed paint reds. Like, I don't know what it is about the color. I don't know if it's the depth, because it can go very dark but still be very obviously red, or what, but it just is so, so forgiving. And there's something about specifically the contrast red colors that I think just lay down very smoothly, unlike some other colors. Like, even the green I used when I was working on my Astra Militarum model the other week, still ended up being a little bit more, like, not splotchy specifically, but painterly than I kind of anticipated. And I feel like the reds don't quite do that. They always go down a bit more evenly. And I don't know what it is. I assume it must have something to do with the pigment, like the red, whatever they're using for their red pigments. Because I imagine the contrast medium and all that is the same. So the only difference really would be the pigment. So I don't know what it is about, like, the green pigments versus the red pigments. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. I don't know what this song is from, but it's just titled Loneliness. And I just assume it's some dude talking to himself. Okay, that looks amazing. Yes. Alright, but we do need... Oh, I should probably close my contrast paint. 1, so it doesn't dry out, and 2, so I don't knock it wildly onto my table and then cry because I've spilt a bunch of paint. That would be very, very bad. You know what? I need to try Flesh Terrors through an airbrush. I have not tried... I lied. I've tried one color through an airbrush, and it was Aethermatic Blue. It worked really well. I think Aethermatic Blue is definitely another one that might work really just super well through an airbrush, but I have not tried any of the reds, and Flesh Terrors is one of my favorite red tones. I went with Blood Angels on this guy because I thought it was a little bit brighter, and I knew I was going to be playing on some oranges and yellows in the for the Bloodletter itself. I was forgetting that word, apologies, and I was trying to also not pause, but mute the ad as it goes into another, as it goes into another song. All right, there we go. It is unmuted. I'll put the music back on. Oh no, is your cat trying to attack your computer screen because of my hand motion? That is really funny. No problem, not great. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate you hanging out with me for a little while. Have a good rest of your evening. That's true, Michael. Whoa! Every time I keep throwing it. God. God! I'm sorry, Mr. Khorne Juggernaut. I don't mean to keep throwing you onto the ground. And by ground, I mean my table. Alright. We don't have too much time left, but we also don't have too much gold trim left. We can do this. We can do it by the power of painting. With the power of Bob Ross and happy thoughts, we shall paint this majestic, delicious model for the Blood God. And then we'll put their skulls on his throne. 'Cause he cares not where they come from. At this point in the stream, I am tired and rambling. Can you tell? There is just something very nice about this, though. Very, very satisfying. Oh no. Did I get silver? I may have gotten a little bit of silver there. I might be able to cover that up with some red contrast paint, actually. That's the other thing. Going back to talking about the red contrast paint, I find that I can actually cover up metallic with the red very nicely without really losing the same effect, and it works so well. You're right, also, Okami. Also, welcome! I don't remember seeing you pop in, but hello, Okami. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Yes, and I did just yeet him for yeet's sake. I mean, not actually. I accidentally threw him out of my hand because... I guess I just have a poor grip sometimes. But I've done it like 3 times now. It's been very dramatic. Okay, we got that. Let's go around here. Excellent. And then there's one little spiky bit there. Again, using that curve of my sort of bent brush to my advantage. Alright, that one's done. Let's do this other side and then get that other foot that we skipped because we need to put more red on it. And I actually think after that, it's an inspection time to just make sure I've got everything. I need to do the teeth in some silver. I didn't do that. And I need to do the spikes on the front, I think, in silver. Do I want to do them in silver? Or should I just fucking... You know what? I'm gonna do them in gold. Should I do them in... Chaos Cultist! I need your chaotic opinion! Excellent. Okay, so I have these spikes on his head. I've already painted the trim in gold. I'm liking that. Should the spikes also be gold, or should I do them in silver? I'm right now leaning towards gold because I think it'd be a more striking look. But I also was originally thinking silver.
It's going to be silver.
Yes.
Then I would go gold.
Okay, that was kind of where I was leaning. That's why I was starting to go more towards the gold direction, even though originally I was thinking silver. Thank you. Gold. It is done. I think that looks better. I think that looks lovely. Get this side. Boop, boop, boop. Let's bring it up a little closer to you guys. So you can get all that fine, fine detail. There we go. I think that is looking lovely. Make sure not to forget these back sides of the horns. That would be embarrassing. I have totally had things go to the turnaround and have to come back and be like, oh fuck, I completely forgot to paint the backside of that, and it's very, very visible on camera, even though when I'm holding it, I can't see that for shit. And I've had to correct some things because of that. No problem, Okami. You don't have to apologize for lurking. Not a problem whatsoever for you to hang out and work and lurk at the same time. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss you sending in a greeting and me just ignoring it, because that would have been rude. You know what? That's a good point, Michael. Maybe the next time that we're painting, I'll put Bob Ross on in the background. The problem is like, if I'm listening to him, I'm going to get distracted, and then I'm going to want to paint happy little trees with him. That's what's going to happen if we put Bob Ross on, though. Which, who knows? Maybe that could be fun. Have I gotten everything that I want to? Ooh, that did not actually get fully painted. There we go. Just make sure to get the front size of that horn, too. My goodness. Is this side better? Yeah, but not by much. There we go. That is looking a lot better. Okay, I like that. Alright, I think that is all the gold, correct? I'm feeling we've gotten the hooves. We didn't get the hoof on this side, though. Let's take care of that before we switch back over to our silver really briefly. Just stick a nice little jab of gold onto the red unintentionally. Gosh darn it, I don't even know if it'll be visible, but I can see it, dang it. Okay. Oh, whoa. I see. I want to do these spikes in gold under his chin so that they match the other gold spikes. Okay, that looks good. Do it on the other side so that everything is even. I have like a fucking hair. Get out. There we go. Cats. They leave their hairs everywhere, and then they get into, they get into my paint. It's ridiculous. Sarah, I completely understand that. I have totally also used, well, I intentionally used Bob Ross to fall asleep because I knew that he would put me to sleep. I don't know if that was exactly what you did with it, but definitely something I have done. All right, that is looking good. I'm going to now close my gold. Shake the silver a little bit, and then we're going to bring out the little brush because we have some teeth to paint. All right, let's get these done. Yeah, that's looking immediately awesome. I thought this might be a good choice. We should also do his tongue in silver, I think, because it's also mechanical and kind of has the same ribbing effect that I did on the other thing, so I might do that. Oh god, I'm having that thing where I can't focus on the what I'm painting. Ah! Close an eyeball. Nope, that didn't help exactly like I wanted it to, but kind of did. That's a very large fang you have there. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised you're Khorne, but... Okay, this brush is actually, I think, slightly too small for these teeth. Do I have... I surely probably do. I have, like, a bazillion brushes. Here we go. We'll use our God Hand brush. This has a little bit of a larger tip. Yeah. I think this will work nicely. Oh, yeah. Much better. There we go. We're getting some very optimistic music. Like, we're going heroic. Oh my goodness. Probably not the best thing you want to be happening when you're on guard duty. Falling asleep to some Bob Ross. Alright, that is looking pretty cool. Let's do the bottom teeth. Try not to be too sloppy. I feel like I am... I don't know if it's just because they're so tiny or what, but I felt like I was getting a little sloppy there. Maybe it was just my eyeballs. Okay. God, I really do like how that looks. He looks deadly. Which is appropriate, considering he's a Khorne demon. Oh my gosh, that really sounds like it sucks. There we go. Don't forget the insides of his teeth, Angela. There we go. They can actually be seen from the other side, you know. Oh no, I'm getting nervous. I can feel my hands shaking. No! Everything's fine. There we go. That actually worked better than I was worried it was. I was worried I was going to get like a lot of silver on the inside of his mouth accidentally. And I didn't want that. Did I get the upper teeth on the inside? Probably not. Let's try. Okay, that worked well on that side. Let's see if we can do the other side. Similar fashion. Okay. Should I do his tongue in silver? I think I'm going to. I can always repaint it gold, or not I can always repaint it red if I decide I don't like it. But I think because it's got that same sort of like ribbing style, I do want to paint it up. Yeah, just kind of like almost dry brushing it on, like over brushing, I guess. I think is the technical term for it. I think that actually looks really good. I am not seeing anything specifically that I missed in regards to like silver or gold coloring, which I'm mildly astounded by. That's why I'm sitting here like prolonging myself. Andy, I completely agree with you that the new Tyranid models look really, really cool to paint. And honestly, if you were going to jump in with Games Workshop for the first time, why not start with one of their like newest redesigned factions? Tyranids would be an excellent opportunity, and I said it in the news today. I think they are such a canvas waiting to be worked on for just an explosion of color to happen. I think Tyranids are one of those factions that you really realistically can do whatever the hell you want color scheme wise, and just it's gonna look cool. The models are made for it. Like there's just something about them that I think works so well. No problem, Patrick. Thank you for hanging out with me. Yes, I'm also going to be logging off here as well, so I don't blame you for going ahead and peacing out. No problem. Thank you for hanging out for the duration of the stream. I'm really pleased with this, so I'm going to actually keep working on him here in a little bit. Actually, I'm probably gonna take a small break after the stream is over, but I will actually be continuing to work on him, just not live for you anymore. You'll have to wait to see how he finishes during Friday's painting tutorial. Words are hard, and I've been going for 2 hours and talking. My brain's shutting down. It's I can't keep going. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how this has turned out. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the way that he's looking as well. I might put a little bit of silver right in between there, because it does look like there's a segmentation in the armor. So I'll probably tidy that up. You know what? Actually, we have a little bit. We have like 6 minutes. I'll do that with you guys. But yeah, that is going to be it, I think, for the stream. To everybody who is watching this later on YouTube, thank you so very much for catching back up with us. If you ever want to hang out and check out behind the scenes content for upcoming videos on the channel, Tuesdays are the days where you'll be able to see that more often than not occurring. I have not fully decided what I'm going to be painting for next week, but it's probably going to be either going to be Azrael the Lion. It's basically one of the 4 big new releases. It's either Dante, Azrael the Lion, or Vashtor. I haven't really decided which one yet, but it's probably going to be one of those 4, so you can be looking forward to that. But in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss this tutorial when it goes live on Friday. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I think now I am satisfied with where we got on this model today. I'm very happy with how he's looking. And I think we're ready to start actually doing some washes, working on the base, and then playing with some weathering powder. So I'll see you guys next time, and have a wonderful hobby night, everybody. Bye. There it is.